Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of D&D CR Exposed. On today's episode we are looking at the Magma Landshark from Tal'Dorei Campaign Setting Reborn. And if you'd like what I'm doing here, before we get into this, we're going to talk about the tool and a little bit of the business. If you want to get this tool for yourself, you can do so at my Ko-fi link in the description below, where you can get this tool completely for free, or you can donate if you feel so inclined to. There's other ways to support the channel. You can become a channel member or a Ko-fi supporter for as little as $1 a month, where you'll get access to videos beforehand to the general public. As soon as I make them, you'll get them right away, plus some other benefits and ideas that I'm working on to make it more beneficial for you to become a channel member. On top of that, I also have classes that I've created. I've created a couple classes and a bunch of subclasses for players to use, as well as a bunch of custom monsters for the DM or GM to use for their games. Primarily focusing on Tales of the Valiant or D&D 5th edition. Now that that's out of the way, you can also support the channel by liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, or sharing with your friends. Tell your friends about the silly math that I'm doing here on YouTube and how niche it is and ridiculous. So beyond that, let's jump into the Magma Landshark here, which I think is just a fiery bullet? I don't know, the big metal monster that jumps out of the ground. I think it's just one of those. With fire. Okay, so we are looking at a CR 14, as you'll see in the top here. I'm going to work my way from the top down, and basically kind of work from top down, left to right as well. So we have our CR 14 for our monster. The AC is going to be an 18. It is a huge elemental, which is kind of surprising, but not necessarily so much. 12d12 hit dice, with the following stats of 22 strength, 11 dex, 22 con, 2 intelligence, 14 wisdom, and 5 charisma. From there, we're going to skip through the rest of these features because we only have immunity to fire and we need at least 3 to trigger any kind of resistances or immunities. We can just skip past those and we'll move into the traits. Now we have illumination. The Landshark sheds bright light and dim light. We don't care about that. We have searing presence, so any creature that starts its turn within 10 feet of the Landshark takes 11 points of fire damage. Now, in theory, due to the way parties work out, we are guaranteed at least, I'd say 90% of the time, one melee combatant, either being, you know, a wild-shaped druid, a paladin, a barbarian, a fighter. You know, we've got one melee combatant. Now it gets tricky if your party, depending on how big your party is, if you have another melee. You might have another striker, but that striker could be either ranged or it could be melee. So it could be a monk, it could be another rogue, it could be a ranger, we don't know. So we're going to at least guarantee that we have one monster, or one fighter here, and we're going to use the heated body. So we can guarantee that at least one person is going to be taking 11 points of damage anytime they're within, what was it, 10 feet of this, the Landshark? Alright, from there we have Standing Leap, which also just lets the monster do a whole bunch of things. So this is basically a bullet with fire, because we also have Deadly Leap. This is just a reimagining and a reskinning. Okay, now that we've taken care of that and exposed this monster for more than just its CR value, we do have a bite, and the bite is going to have a attack bonus 11, which is definitely coming from its strength, so we'll go ahead and throw that into the attack bonus section. From there, we're going to add in the damage of 45 piercing damage from its bite, and that is an even number, so we don't have an extra odd to add in there, plus 14 points of fire damage for a total of 59 points of damage. Now, if the target is a larger, smaller creature, it needs to succeed on a dex save or be swallowed by the Landshark. If swallowed by the Landshark, it's blinded, restrained, and takes a whole bunch of extra damage here. 42 fire damage at the start of each of the Landshark's turns. Now, if I have the bite and swallow set up correctly, we should expect only 2 rounds. So only input damage based on the number of targets being swallowed, generally 1 or 2 max. Now again, in theory, I'm only going to be putting in one target, because we generally will only have 1 for sure. We might have a second melee combatant. It's not guaranteed, and it also depends on whether or not the the Bulette here, well, excuse me, the Magma Landshark gets a second target. I mean, they are going to be jumping around a lot, so in theory we could probably get 2. Is there a limit to the number of creatures it can have? Because sometimes they say that. Takes 30 more damage when inside. Landshark dies. Scanning through, I'm not seeing anything about only having 1. I mean, this is a huge elemental, so, you know, just for the fun of it, we're going to go ahead and throw in 2. So, generally 1 or 2 max swallow damage, 21 or 1 for 2 targets. Okay, so what's our swallow damage? 42? Alright, so we'll say 42 times 2. Man, that is a lot of damage. So in theory, we'll have 2 targets taking approximately 2 rounds of damage. Alright. Moving on, we have the Deadly Leap. And the Deadly Leap, if you jump, DC 18, each creature, let's see here, 15, jumps at least 15 feet. Each of those creatures is action to land in a space that contains 1 or more other creatures. Oh well, it is huge, so it's at least a 3x3 for this monster. So yeah, we're going to be doing basically a small AoE, and that's going to be 27 times 2 plus fire damage. Ooh, this is going to be a big one. You're going to want to be doing this all the time, basically. Maybe even forgetting the bite here. So 27 damage for the bludgeoning, plus 21 damage for the fire damage, and then we will multiply that times 2, because in theory we would get at least 2 targets that fail, 1 target that fails, and 2 successes or 4 successes to get the proper amount of damage, plus the prone condition. So yeah, that Deadly Leap is doing a heck of a lot of damage. Now, in theory, the bite is going to be doing more damage if we can get the bite to work successfully. And in theory, we do. So we'll see what happens here in a minute. We need to, at least during combat, get 2 bites off to get 2 creatures in. So we'll see what happens. Then we also have Lava Pool, recharge on a 6. If the Landshark is on solid ground, it melts the area around it, creating lava in a 10-foot radius. Creatures in that area in the first time on a turn take 44 points of damage. So we're looking at 44 times 2, as per the jump rules and all the other times I've mentioned this. So yeah, we're looking at a pretty good amount of damage here. Now, because of how much damage it is, we're going to do this twice. We're going to look at it with just the Deadly Leap once, and then biting 2 targets, and then we'll see about a bite, a leap, and the lava pool. So let's go ahead and start from there. Now, the question is we're definitely probably going to want to do the... Oh, it's tricky. Let's see here. What is our main... Our main is coming off of 11, but we have a 23 DC. Wow, the 23 con save is huge. That is way overblown. I mean, the Deadly Leap is... Man, the Deadly Leap is appropriate at 18. It's within range of what we're expecting, more or less. Okay, this is a tricky one. What's going to be doing the most damage? We're going to do 2 bites and one leap. Bite is technically doing more damage, but the Constitution save is doing the most amount of damage here. All right, we'll just do an average of all of them for the time being. So let's go ahead and figure that out. So we have we're going to do an average of 11. What would be the 20? Let's see here. 23 would be what? A 19. Oh my goodness. No, 14. That's better. 14. And what was the other one? For our... Oh, and into 23. 18. 18 works out to be a 9. Okay, so... Take the average, and I did that wrong. 11.3. So, alright, yeah, we'll just leave the attack bonus at 11 then, because it technically works out to be the same when converting. Okay, so first round of combat, we're going to do our Deadly Leap, just to get in there and have some fun. And then from there, we're going to do 2 bites, in theory, to get our monster swallowing a whole bunch of creatures. And is that correct? Wow. That doesn't seem right, but I guess it is. Yeah, we don't have any... Wow, this monster has very low defensive capabilities, but extremely high offensive capabilities, and puts us at a CR 15, which is basically what I was expecting. You know, we're only one CR above using what I would expect to be the standard array for 3 rounds of combat. Now, let's take a look here and see what happens if we switch the Swallow to just 1. And we remove the 1 bite, and we put in the lava pool here for 2 targets getting hit by that. And that we actually do get the CR14. So depending on your results and how you use your bullet, the Magma Landshark, you're going to get a CR14 or a CR15. Your dice results may vary. So thank you so much for watching, and as we expose the Magma Landshark here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.